Thank you, Nick Jones, and welcome everybody to this edition of the Jason Decanio Show, a special edition for you, friends, as we are here from the WJDC studios in beautiful Vito, Florida, for the interview that is continuing here on continuing saga of Ebayisajoke, Charles W. Fitch. Our special guest today is, of course, our regular known person who has followed Ebayisajoke, basically told us what he's been doing as brave soul in all of his ways, and is finally now coming out with truth of what this character is actually doing. So we're going to get him on the phone, and this is of course a scheduled show, but it's not live. It is just being recorded, friends. That's right. So unfortunately, no one can come into this show. We're not going to tell you where we are or who we're podcasting off of. That is a secret, and we will continue that secret. All right, friends, let's go ahead and give Keith Detweiler a call here.
Hello?
Hey, Keith, it's Jason from the Jason Decanio Show.
Hey, how's it going today?
Hey, what's going on today on Tuesday, July 15, 2014?
Hey, everything's going good.
All right. Well, we welcome you back for another great interview here, and this, of course, is an unscheduled interview because a couple of days after the show, as you know, Fat Boy decides to attack.
Yeah, I heard he attacked and tried to get or was basically made the channel get shut down.
No, what had happened was he comes in on my show the next day as Susan Foster and basically demands that the interview that we did the following evening be taken down. And he just
well, I have demands for him. I demand that all your junk come off your websites.
There you go.
I mean, that's fair. He's demanding our stuff come down, which is truthful, but yet it's okay for him to put the junk out on cyber stalking.
Right. In other words, he wants to have all his stuff up there to make us look idiots.
Right.
Yep. And, the only idiot I know of is Sir Jokester himself.
That's true.
I mean,
I'm not going to disagree with that.
I mean, we said this in the last interview before. This guy wants to get caught, and I guess he's just hitting below the belt because now he's going after his girlfriend.
Yeah, I had talked to you the other day, and you said that stalking the girlfriend. I found out that's not good.
No, and I liked your video today that basically just told Chuck to back off. I mean, that's what we told him to do, back off. And I think he's hard of hearing. I think he just needs a hearing aid and maybe one of those big pots that you put over a guy's head and knock the pot a couple of times with a stick so you can get it, that ding, 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 ding,
Right.
I mean, because obviously it's just not going through and sinking in.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to sink in until the last minute. Until he realizes that when he's behind bars, and then he won't do it anymore.
It really is just barking up the wrong tree. Okay, it's one thing that it is to go after us. There's another thing to get neutral people involved that really never attacked him to basically now be exposed for no reason.
True. Yeah, he shouldn't be attacking anybody's girlfriends for any reason.
Or for that matter, people associated with me, also Jason Kelly, Chris Kennedy, anyone else, and anyone associated with you and your family too, because you said on occasion that he tried doing that.
Yeah, he was in my Facebook page and going through their trolling, but I already told him all about it.
Mm. So this video that you made called "You Can't Touch This" really just sticks it right to him. I mean, did you just say what you felt you had to say, or what was the thing?
Yeah, I just wanted to say what I had to say about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if he's that desperate of a person to have to get involved with someone else's relationships and start stalking those people and stalking the families, then maybe you should just back off and, you know, go to one of the bars that take care of those issues.
Mm-hmm. More comments being put on there.
Or, you know, you can go, I don't know, maybe he's stuck to the dating sites and he can't get on those anymore.
Yeah, you guys mentioned something about the porno site. You know a lot about that, or?
I just heard that from other people that knew that he had ran a couple of girls off a couple sites. In those dating type sites.
Well, here are some comments for you to give your opinion on. These are comments from the video he did called "Keith Detweiler is Willing to Lie in Order to Gain Acceptance on..." We already know.
Yeah, I went on there, sort of, and listened to some of it.
This one, of course, is from Susan Foster, the fake bitch.
Right.
Says, it was a painfully long interview to listen to. My name came up a few times, and I was once again called a bitch by Jason Decanio. I'm too sick of this guy. Already, he can't even type because he's so pissed off.
Well, we all know Susan Foster is Ebayisajoke doing it.
Yep.
Or Chuck making fake accounts, because no woman in their right mind would follow that trash.
Exactly. She continues on and says, I'm too sick of this guy trying to attack me when I'm trying to reach out and give him proof of who I am. No, you're not. Because if there was any proof, Foster, and you're going to agree with me on this, Keith, if there was any proof, she'd make a video.
Right. Just like the one that I would hope that you and your girlfriend would come out with for like a podcast, because there's proof right there that she's being stalked by the guy.
In due time. She goes on to say, and it's amazing he still has all the videos of him slandering Keith Detweiler up. Jason even sickly laughed at Keith when Keith admitted in his interview that Jason slammed him good on those videos. I have no problems with Keith. He came forward and apologized, but Jason needs to step up his game and remove the videos that mention and slander his full name. Fair enough. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Well, I agree. Yeah, I couldn't defend it, because when you follow someone that does wrong and stalks people and just does nothing but to harass, and then when you partake in that, you can't defend it. When righteous people come out against you, what are you going to do? I mean, there's nothing I can really say, but the only thing I could say is to make matters worse, and that's what was going on. Every video I'd make, even if I did make it about you guys, you guys would all attack me. It's like, hey, and your side sounded a lot better when I listened to it. Even though I was really the one getting slammed.
Right. Then there's one from Ebayisajoke himself. Says, actually, I wouldn't agree. There is a very small window here for Keith to do the right thing and stay away from Jason. This podcast was a huge mistake on Keith's part, but if he admits he lied to Jason about me, I may be able to forgive him, and if he does it with Doc on a podcast, I could consider removing his information off the site once again. But like I said, a very small window here. If Keith is lying about the stuff that, he goes on, it says, if Keith is lying about the stuff he says I did, as a Christian, he will have to deal with that someday. When I was a young boy, I wanted to belong in the group of cooler kids in the same schoolyard as well. His banishment from my castle was purely a test of which he failed. I don't want anything more to do with him so he can do what he wants. But if he doesn't admit everything he said yesterday was a lie, I just may have to pull out all those emails from the server. What do you got to say about that?
I say to go ahead and pull the server mail out. Pull them all up on your website because we all can see it, and then that would just prove the evidence against them. The story would even go even further to come out. But someone like him would only post what I had said, not the other end.
Exactly. Decided post.
Right.
That's right. Fake.
But if he says he kicked me out of the castle, only because I had told him, look, I'm not doing this. You're pushing it too far.
Yeah, you should say, hey, look, this court jester is not going to be laughed at anymore.
Like, you had the castle, but the king that owns the land is the one that I really had to speak to.
Yeah.
You know?
Well put.
His castle's empty. What's he got in there?
Cannonballs.
You know, he doesn't have much ammo when he's got, 50, 60 people, all saying the same thing about him.
Which is the truth.
Right.
Let's see. Fake Channel John says, Det really made himself look bad in that podcast. Jason embarrassed him. My question to you is, did I embarrass you?
Not at all.
All right, you heard it straight from the horse's mouth, friends. Well,
I'm not embarrassed. I needed to get things straightened out and be a clean person, so I could move on with my establish my stuff online. And be more successful. You can't do that being a stalker, that's for sure.
A Crosby 1099. So he's taking an eye from YouTube, forging somebody. He said,
right,
nah,
A. Crosby. Yeah, I know who A. Crosby is. He's got the videos that he does with, I went on and found out who he was, and he does really good videos with Goodwill and Good Finds and stuff like that. So he's got good videos.
Mm-hmm. So
I would imagine that E-Joker's trying to get him on his side.
Yeah, and he says, now that shit was funny, boys. We don't know if that was the real Crosby. Could be Fitch just making another.
Right.
Telebuddy says, I couldn't bear to listen to the first video. I skipped to the last two, and it was the most pathetic thing I ever heard. Keith, do you kiss feet for a living?
What was that?
He says, Telebuddy says, I couldn't bear to listen to the first video. I skipped to the last two, and it was the most pathetic thing I ever heard. Keith, do you kiss feet for a living?
Oh, do I kiss feet? No.
Yuck. Jesus Christ. We want to kiss that punk's feet. Ugh.
Yeah. Probably got corns.
Ah! Probably gout. Ooh. Seller Mike says Ebayisajoke was on 101.1 FM this morning talking about eBay and John Donahoe. It was great. He's really marketing this up.
Well, if that's true, then I can go on to the 101 FM channel and find that feed.
Yep. Let's see. Neil says everyone across the pod thinks Detweiler is a huge pussy now. Jason really made him beg.
Well, he can say what he wants.
That was Neil.
I manned up, so if that makes me a pussy, then maybe Ebayisajoke. Why don't you man up and stop patting yourself in your bed, and then stop harassing people?
Terry B, Terry capital B, says nothing good could ever come out of doing interviews with Team eBay. They will look to try and make you look stupid. And this could be only done if Jason is on top of his game. If he's all scared and nervous in the interview, then he just sucks and nothing comes out of it anyway. Jason will never amount to a radio show host with his online reputation. What do you got to say about that?
Well, I think you got amazing talent, honestly, online. And then you got a good voice for the radio, so I think you're doing a good job. So I don't know what their point is there.
Well, we know it's a fake channel. It's just what we're basically getting from is from ebayisajokevideo.com. All these comments have been documented.
Right.
Moomart1, he's using all of us now. Says Moomart1 says, even I have to admit Keith Det got eBang. Oh, God.
Yeah, he's probably all of those, all the names that he uses are well, I know Moomart1
Yeah, and I know him.
from the YouTube community.
Yep. And then another one is Calvin21, which we know who the real Calvin21
Right.
is. Says, Keith, you really made yourself look bad. Do you beg for a living? In other words, Fitch is calling you a dog.
Right. Well, here's with Calvin doesn't like Ebayisajoke, and Ebayisajoke's made plenty of fake channels under his name, like Calvin X.
Oh, yeah.
Got his channel shut down. He's just a younger kid. He knows better than to trust that crap.
That's right. Gamer Don says, I live 18 miles from Keith. I should stop by and ask him if he wants a punch in his huge chinny. Ooh.
Yeah, that's that right there from Chuck himself. Must be getting to you, Chuck, because the truth is coming out.
Yeah, because then Ebayisajoke comes up and says, no violence, please, else your comments will be deleted. Yeah, right. Then,
and it's funny how that one stayed.
Oh, yeah. And then you got Decanio Finisher for a name. Says, Keith Detweiler and Jason Decanio. Two useless nerd losers that could not even catch fish in a barrel. One smokes crack, the other eats everything in sight. Both go to sleep alone every night. So in other words, he thinks you're a crackhead. Oh boy.
Yep. So.
And then oh, go ahead.
The comments that he wrote are pretty good.
Well, then he used your ex YouTube channel called Price Wars,
right?
Making it out to be you and saying, "Ha ha, stupid fat ass Jason Decanio bought everything I said. What a stupid fat retard, ignorant doofus slob of an idiot." So in other words, he's impersonating your old YouTube channel. So if anyone else goes there and thinks, "Oh my God, Price Wars, he flip flopped again."
Yeah, the Price Wars, which got shut down about 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. He's impersonating the old YouTube.
Yeah, see, I can't get on those accounts anymore.
Yep.
I have the email back, which my whole email actually got shut down. And then when I went to get the email back, to go back on YouTube, it just gives me a weird little window saying, oh, you're no longer allowed to use that username with YouTube. Well, one, my accounts weren't verified, which you were correct with that. If they're not verified, yeah, you'll get shut down real quick.
Exactly. That's what I've been trying to say, is that now with the new way everybody wants to open up channels, you have to verify them, partner verify them, monetize everything, because they don't want fake channels anymore on YouTube.
That is true.
That is very true. And we finally got one here that says, from Barry Dweeb. Wow, butt-chin Detweiler will say anything and kiss any ass, even a fat, pimply whale Decanio ass when he gets afraid like the baby he is. Keith Detweiler is the biggest flip-flopping, lying, fooking-ass crackhead that ever lived in the Queen City of Marietta. Here's another example.
See, that's another Finch comment.
Yeah, here's another example of a creep that needs to be rubbed out. Boy, how do you feel about that one?
Well, I'm not going anywhere. These interviews are just proving the point against him.
Right. On the title, and it's funny, on the title of this video, or the title, it says, he's got a picture with your name on the bottom below it, and on the hand side it says, claims to be a Christian, but is willing to lie in order to I don't think you're...
Oh, coming out and telling the truth about the situation with Chuck and what he does to harass people, which is proof he is harassing me and has been harassing me since the time that even I was following him. He had that information out. He wrote all these articles before, just so when he says he kicked me out of Castle, he had something to talk about. because he knew I was going to go against him anyway. I already told him that.
Well, let's go to another site that he called eBay Stealth Guide for Pay Toilet, which is basically eBayStealthGuide.com.
No, it's not eBay Stealth Guide. It's eBay Stealth Garbage.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk about anything relevant. So his actual, I don't know how to say it. I don't think his knowledge online is that good. He doesn't know how to run a website like Doc from eBay Motors. He had relevant material with eBay Motors and how to, safely buy a car, how to look at a car. He'd go through the forums and say, hey, look, this is a fake car on here. He had credible material. Ebayisajoke has harassment material on every website he builds.
Well, he wrote this article, which I think you saw about a few months. Pete Detweiler of Marietta, Georgia, troll clown of YouTube. So he's already, and the guy that puts on his site is called Almost Famous, who looks like the guy from the 70s song, Shannon. What's his name?
Well, I would rather not be famous in a good way than be famous like he did and be poked at on the news by Rob Walchuk in a bad way.
That's true. Let's see. In his article, he says Keith Allen Detweiler used to be on the side of the good or the side of the eBay critics, but because he can't, he's been sent out to the pasture to graze. He's now on the side of the bad. We call him a YouTube flip-flopper because he's always just trying to belong to some group. Man goes by the channel names of Price Wars, M Mall, Simple Man, and others on YouTube, and he's a troll that has been kicked off eBay for selling multiple.
Right.
Just in that paragraph alone.
Right.
Sounds
yeah,
like,
we're definitely getting to him when he's making those kind of statements.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. Sorry, I just stepped away from the microphone. Sorry about that. I had a crumb on the floor. I was like, okay. Anyways, just by that one first opening paragraph. Okay, so he's already accused you of a flip-flopper, but I mean, when you explain to us that you had to get what you had to get, some ways it's like that.
It is. When you need to get information from two different parties, yeah, you have to flip-flop around. Well, what they call it at the time is actually called trolling, the same thing that he does. He's more of a flip-flopper because he makes fake channels, hundreds of them, to harass people. I don't think I made some videos, harassing videos, but I didn't make that many, not like he does. So, yeah, it's fair that I was considered a flip-flopper, yep.
And let's see, Ebayisajoke befriended Keith because he felt bad for him. He even helped him with eBay and showed him how to make money with his website, but he would never implement the ideas. Oh!
Yeah, none of his website ideas actually made any sense.
But he's saying that he befriended you because seems like he feels bad for everybody, and yet at the same time threatens people. So it's like, gets on your side for about 5 minutes and then puts you down with wants to threaten you with bodily harm or something of that sort.
Yep.
I mean,
that's what I call the passive-aggressive side of Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps going back and doing the same thing over and over again, so he's not changing his tactics and what he does.
Says, Keith emailed Ebayisajoke daily about Team eBay, known as eBay seller Hubcap Joe's, and Queens, New Yorker, myself. These individuals cyberstalk and harass eBay critics on YouTube by flagging channels and filing fake DMCA reports on the YouTube community. Decanio was just reported for a death threat to 3 people, including Ebayisajoke. Ironically enough, Keith was one of the other individuals that received the threat, by Jason, but has now taken the side of Team eBay once again in order to just belong to something. He says you're a very confused person, and he's responsible for creating hundreds of YouTube channels to harass me.
Right. I had 10 channels at the most on YouTube.
Right. But only because so many of them got shut down by Jokester.
Exactly.
Or by us or something.
Well, yeah, there's definitely the flag war. I call it the flag war going on for a good 3 months where I'd make a channel, get flagged down. So that was going on for a while.
And let me ask you something. There is no federal crime against flagging a video or a channel. It's like if you're going to go on to YouTube and you abuse it that way, then you have every right to get flagged. Don't you agree?
Right. Now, there's no federal crime in flagging someone's videos.
Right.
So, it's immoral to flag someone's videos for if they're a good video. But that's what Chuck does. He don't care what it is.
But
he feels that anything comes against him, that he's going to flag it.
But his videos were against us. And even if they weren't against us, in some way, shape, or form, he was mass advertising Amazon. And you don't have a license to when did he become the spokesperson for Amazon, you know? No one in the Amazon, and I even called Amazon and told them what he was doing.
Oh, yeah, he's got probably multiple Amazon accounts, like he does with called Amazon Go, same as eBay stuff, where you mask your IP identity and make more accounts. Now, with Amazon, you can have 3 accounts without having to worry about getting shut down.
But do they have to be verified or?
Just with basically Amazon really verifies you through your bank information.
Oh,
when you open up a store or if you're a seller.
Mm-hmm.
But just to buy on there, no, you don't have to be verified just to be a buyer.
Let's see. Keith Allen Detweiler lies online about where he's from by misrepresenting himself on sites like SalesSpider, so here we make him honest.
Sure.
He also likes to lie and accuse people of scamming when he has no evidence, just to belong in a group of people that will only use him.
Shoot, I haven't been at SalesSpider since I probably moved from, I think I had SalesSpider when I moved here.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just haven't updated it. But why is he accusing me when he has all these rogue sites harassing people like eBay is a joke website that just doxes people's information? All his Susan Foster, all those channels. He makes fake stuff on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe.
Leave it. Let's see.
He has multiple addresses in different people's names across the country. I will tell you that right now, Mr. Jokester. I know of one in Chicago that you run. And saying that it's through your family. No, you use your business name. He has a business name under IRS number. Gets those mailboxes and has stuff forwarded to him so he can screw people on eBay. How about that, Chuck? I do know about that, and they will catch you eventually. Has one in Austin, Texas. Has one in New York, Chicago. He has 14 addresses from those 3 communities, or states, as far as I know, and possibly one forwarding from California.
Right.
Which you can call over the phone and get a mailbox at any one of those places and make an account. Get stuff forwarded when you buy stuff from eBay or Amazon. And then it would all be automatically forwarded to your forwarding address, which is where he lives in Michigan. So he's telling me that I don't put truthful information out. I think you got a lot to learn there, Chuck.
And then let's see. He's on says Ebayisajoke told this guy to take a hike after he was tired of thousands of ridiculous emails packed with your stories or admissions. He was stalking me, Ebayisajoke said. Ebayisajoke admitted he would never give Keith any more information than he needed to have, that he was played and banished from the...
So he played himself out with me to give me the information of what he does.
Then he said he found one of your addresses in Marietta. Posted up a picture.
Well, that is information from Google search from the house.
Yep. Got your date of birth here, your age. Google Maps even provides with first-person evidence of him leaving his house, going to his car. Is that you?
That's a picture from Google.
Unbelievable.
Google Maps was actually coming through, take pictures of our neighborhood at the time I was coming out of my house.
He moves from home to home and establishes residency until someone boots his ass out. Keep Detweiler the vagabond. Oh boy. Then he writes, to prove what a scammer he is, he even ran a fake GoFundMe campaign called Brian Needs a Car, which I think you would tell me about.
Yeah, my friend needed a car. He had a car, and it pooped out on him on the E-way, and we made a GoFund. I talked to GoFund about it. Yeah, and he went in there and put money in, which is his own fault.
Yeah, when I
GoFund says, hey, if someone donates to it, that's fine. And then the time ran out, and if they don't undonate it, then they lose.
Yep. And if I go to that, because there is a link right to where he put it in, and it says you guys raised $17 was the goal. Charles,
right.
$5. Oh my God.
So he's a scammer that thinks he got scammed. He's like, well, then why would you put $5? He did that just so he could have some news later on.
Oh, yeah. So that article was from eBayStealthGuide.com. Detweiler of Marietta, Georgia, troll clown of YouTube.
So if he wants to talk about scamming people, how about the Michigan family things he does with the GoFunds to try and raise money for Michigan families, and nobody trusts him, so I didn't make any money for the whole 3 months it was up.
What do you think of the rip-off reports that supposedly, think about it, I didn't write that. That was all him.
Oh, he told me, yeah, he puts rip-off reports out on Joe.
Don't get the idea of, I didn't even know about this website until he brought it up himself.
Oh, yeah, rip-off reports has been there. It's okay, but you can also have the information removed.
Yeah, and I was trying to do that. These are the 3 fraudulent rip-off reports, supposedly, that were filed. Something of the sort. First, he blames. He writes it because if you look at it, his address is right there. I mean, the way he puts it, you know.
Right.
And then
you can track rip-off reports through timestamps.
Right. And
so he's not doing himself any good.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to ask, how do you get the timestamps? Well, what do you do once you get into time? There's even,
It's, when you put a rip-off report, the timestamp of the time that you put in the report is actually right above your statement.
Oh. Well. Very interesting. Nice. So he just basically screwed himself. Oh.
He couldn't ask his IP to put them in, but it's still the point that what I know that he said his whole point, I think, of existence is to try and get Joe kicked off eBay and stalking him, you, and anybody else. So if coming clean and telling people what this guy does is not the Christian thing to do, then I don't know what the Christian thing to do would be. I'm not the devil's advocate here, Chuck. You're the one that's harassing people. You harassed he harassed Rob Walchuk, a news figure, a news investigator, which could put you away real quick if you don't take his stuff down, which you've been warned. The Oakland Police Department, which I've talked to, has a restraining order on him to make the stuff go away.
Yeah, and if we type in Charles Fitch 1, yep, 995 sunglasses.com owner filed this back last year. Michigan. Then I guess there was an update to it. There was like 4 or 5 different updates to this, and it just...
Oh, yeah, I know he has some sunglass thing that he owns that runs, I think it runs through probably his web server or something, some web store. Which I wouldn't order it through it. You probably get a pair of fake sunglasses, because then Matt actually did a video of it on his channel showing that he got a fake pair of glasses from 995 Sunglasses.
Crazy.
So I actually I tried to get with Matt to see if that was true, and he didn't write back to me, but I don't think he would do a video of it if it wasn't true, knowing Matt.
Yeah, and I'm trying to where this report is, because and I can't.
You look. What report are you trying to look for?
The one that he basically said that I filed. Because then he wrote.
Yeah. Yeah. Nope. Yeah, I don't. If you know you didn't file anything, I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense. Why I would, I would even do something. I don't even know the website until he said something to something on the account of it, and I'm like, here we go. This is if we type in Charles W. Fitch, we get the one from last year in September. Quick, you can't see it, but I'll read it to you. We know definitely that this is his hand, because who else would file?
Right.
And it actually gives his address, apartment number, when he filed it. Filed it back in August of last year, and then it was updated the next month. Says
someone's updating whoever got basically scammed through his website probably keeps updating it. He's doing everything he can to catch the person that did it, but he won't. The same way he masks his IP address on eBay, so they can't find him as a bidder on Joe's stuff, or trying to buy Joe's stuff and not pay for it. With the fake PayPal cards accounts that he buys at Walgreens or Walmart or wherever he goes to buy them.
And in this report, which he filed on May 30th of 2014, he writes, this falsified report filed on this person's reputation is slanderous and defamatory, and has been made by reputation managers of eBay Inc. So he, like everything, he blames eBay for all of this.
Right. He doesn't do anything. He blames everybody else except his own persona that he put out there to make himself look bad. He looked bad before he went on the news. He was already doing that stuff, and then he got called out. And then a full investigation went out on him, and it all came out to be true. And I was like, oh, wow, well, this stuff is true, or you wouldn't be on the news, or investigative news crew investigated you.
Yeah, exactly. It just I don't know. Really, I tell you, I wonder where his brain is half the time when he's doing something like this. You know?
Oh, he's not. He's just not using his brain.
No, doesn't make any sense. And when I tried,
Nope.
you know,
He'll do anything possible to make you look bad. That's why I started hiding my information from Chuck, because I know what he does. So why would I put my images out there for him to look up? Why would I put my addresses to my real addresses for him to find when I know he's going to dox it? He's going to put it all out on his little tribal websites he built for himself. Yeah, I guess he amuses himself with his own comments, with his own websites, thinking he's some kind of star. And I would say he's more like a black hole. You know, he just sucks in all the bad, and then he throws it out the other side, and he just makes himself look really, really stupid on the other end. Kind of like an ass.
Right, exactly. Very, very true. Yep. So, I mean, these, you know, and I guarantee you, now that you've come to the other side pretty much, there's going to be more and more articles written.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Let him write them.
Yeah, it'll just prove that he is as sick as ever.
Right. He can focus his attention on me if he wants, and whatever he's going to do. But it's not going to get me to stop talking about what he does. And what I had to do, what I went through with the gentleman. He's very particular on how he does stuff. He is careful to a point, but when you get on his good side, he shares stuff with you. But he said, "Oh, I helped you with your websites and all that." He really, when I asked him questions about doing things with websites, he said, "I don't know how to do that. Talk to Doc. He's good at that stuff." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to bother Doc. He's got his own thing going on." Yeah. Really didn't give me that much information. I mean, I researched it on my own information and did it on my own.
Yeah. When he did the video of zeroing in on Matt Zoe, Ebayisajoke posted this because Doc made the video. So we know that Doc is still in the realm of the brainwashing of his brain. I know that.
Right.
Says, great video, Doc, as always. Yep. They post some podcast with Keith. I didn't bother to listen to it because Keith always has a mouthful of unorganized sentences and can barely write one out. I also have his IP address where he is posting stuff here on Ebayisajoke video against Jason and Team eBay and Joe. Yet he apologizes to them and strives to be on their team, and Jason is falling for it. Can prove the IPs. I should show this in a video and totally throw Keith under the bus. I bet Keith won't like that.
Like, I'll tell you what, Chuck, you're not going to throw me under the bus with any trash that you put out on your website. It doesn't matter what IP address I have now or what I used. It doesn't matter. Everything that you put on your website is just adding to our point. And I'm throwing him under the bus right now. If he really wants to go there.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot, you know, nothing new since the last day, so he's probably going to make videos tonight.
Sure, he'll probably start putting up the podcast that me, him, and Doc did. You know, at the time when I was following Ebayisajoke.
Mm-hmm.
And when they sort of had some credible information, but then I found out that most of it was made up. And it was from years ago when he got all this information from Toolhouse, and that was even when eBay changed their policies before all those comments were coming in on Toolhouse. So anything at that time that Joe might have been doing to get news with Ebayisajoke so he could have something to talk about to threaten him with, it's all old information.
Mm-hmm.
But Joe's really turned it around and come out and said, hey, I'm growing my business on eBay. I didn't appreciate some of the stuff that was happening on there, but he didn't go about trashing them the way that Ebayisajoke trashes it. I mean, he trashes John Donahoe. So, I mean, even that guy as the CEO of eBay has rights. He's got to know about Ebayisajoke's website. He has put proof out there that eBay's been on their website with their IP address.
Yeah, but the question is what is, and we said in the last interview, what do you think eBay would actually do? Because a lot of, even Joe has said that they don't want to get involved because then they'll be put to the, to the wall as far as what their policies and procedures are. If they involve themselves with this situation, then they're going to be exposed even more. So
I don't think that. I would just say, this is my point of view. I was eBay, and showing that there's individuals out there to do this kind of stuff and putting them out there, you expose people to do that, I don't think it's just going to make eBay look like a better, more responsible company.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see some point of eBay not getting involved in a personal vendetta that Ebayisajoke has against Joe, but at the same time, it's not right for him to be on the eBay platform doing that to sellers. And I think that he does need to be exposed for that.
But it's so hard to catch him in there because he continues to mask his IP.
Well, they can now. They could catch him, honestly, now. They got a technology that I could trace him at his Cloudflare account. I could go in there and trace it today. Actually, I already did trace it. Cloudflare, it still goes to a location. I know it does go to a location in California, to a cloud, and what it does is it mirrors your website, which I just actually did that to my own website. It mirrors your website, so it helps with people actually going in there and DDoSing it through command prompts,
mm-hmm.
which you can do. Yep, there's simple commands that you can do with people's IP addresses to shut their websites down. Especially with WordPress. WordPress is really bad for that. So if anybody owns a WordPress site, getting in the backlog is really simple. And if you've got a password to a backlog from WordPress, yeah, you might want to update your safety on WordPress websites.
So, what do you think? Well, I mean, I know when you made the video today, you had the intentions of saying, "Hey, look, I don't," it's almost like you're giving them a friendly warning, but in realistical speaking, you're telling them, "Hey, look, you want to go this route, you will get your ass handed to you in the form of jail."
Yep. Oh yeah. And he's not going to stop until someone comes up to his door with an arrest warrant. He keeps saying, "Oh, it's not illegal to harass and dox people and to do this malicious destruction of civil rights on the internet." Well, no, it is. When you use celebrities' names in Google to bash somebody, what if that person says, "Hey, I don't want my reputation damaged because of this guy using my ID to bash somebody," like he did with the basketball player, Patrick, some basketball player.
Yeah, it sounds like Patrick Ewing.
Yep, he used his identity to bash Joe on Google.
Ooh.
And his name comes up under the basketball player in a Google search. Now what if he's like, hey, who did this? And he got with the right person. Hey, this guy bashed me, and here's who was doing it. That he could actually come forward and say, hey, you're going away.
Now, when I made the video exposing his fake channels, he immediately went on the defense and says, well, you can't trace it with IPs.
Yes, you can't trace IPs. There's nothing they can do not to trace it.
Right.
The direction goes somewhere, just like your emails. I can go, anybody that gives me an email, it has an IP or to a server that goes to that particular location. So yeah, you can trace it, just like any cell phone he makes or any fake account he makes can be traced.
And so why does he immediately jump on the defense saying, no way, man, can't prove anything?
Oh,
he constantly says that.
All the proof's there on his websites. He talks about it. The proof's right there in his words.
Right. Nowhere with us.
Going no, yeah, he's not getting anywhere.
And folks, the reason I'm kind of speechless is because a man of this guy's caliber, you know, he says he's not dangerous. He says, I would never inflict a physical fight with anybody. That's typical of a bully. Yeah.
I like how he says that, but then in his comments he's like, I'm going to take a shovel to your head, you know, that kind of stuff.
A shovel to my face, put the boxing gloves on, and another one where he says, the only way I would wrestle Jason Decanio is if it was for chat. Oh, my God. So, you know, three threats right there. I could easily say he, you know.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely making threats.
Oh, yeah.
And he makes them with fake accounts.
Yeah. And the big thing now, or was the big thing, is did you hear the story about where he harassed the 10-year-old kid?
I did not hear about that. That's new.
Well, it wasn't. It may be new to you, but there was a young kid videos about eBay and how to make. He got to the kid, and I think he sent an email to the kid saying, "I can help you." And so, otherwise, he's targeting 10-year-olds. He's going after anyone who sells on eBay and does it successfully.